Hello, 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 how are you? And welcome to Bima's Crafty Corner. I am Bima, better known as Els, and today we're going to be working with this. This is, if you watch my channel on the regular, you know that whenever I have like a strip of paper left, I kind of pop it over in this little container, and so I end up with a bunch of stuff like this, you know, and so I pulled a whole bunch of it out. This is all from in this bin. It was jam-packed, and I said, you know, what can I do that I can make as a make-ahead that is not going to be, you know, too mass make, you know, but that I will actually use. And my answer to that is not a whole lot. But what I can do is, since I know that this is like my color palette, because it's what I use on the regular, you know, there's some book pages in here and dyed scrapbooking paper and index cards and just some writing stuff. Basically, you know, this is leftovers from Sherlock Holmes. I think that might be from Sherlock Holmes too. But I know that this is kind of my palette and it's very neutral. Like, I pulled most of the prissy stuff out, but I have the neutrals. And so the neutrals is what I'm concerning myself with. And I said, well, why not just start gluing them together and let's make some little border pieces. Now, these can be, you know, tucks on the side of a page. They can be tabs on the outside of a page. They could just be, you know, on the edge of a flip or something like that. Maybe you want to make this and use only part of it as a decoration on a page, and then you can add something to this to make it more suitable to the page that you're working on. Okay, so we're going to do this today. Why not, right? I'm going to get out a couple of more supplies and we'll get started, and then, you know, I'll tell you where to stop, and then we'll talk about, you know, what happens when you go a little bit more forward. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so supplies. Dig through your 6x6s and see if you have stuff like this. If you do, pull it out. Stuff like this. We all have those little pieces in our pads, you know, in our 6x6s and our 12x12s. It doesn't matter. Just look through your paper pads, find all of these pieces, look in your bin, and see what you've got in here, because there's some interesting stuff in here as well. Ugh. Oh, look at that. There's a round one I punched and put in there. We could use that. And pull all these out. Glue, ink and a dauber if you want to ink, and something to trim with if you need to cut some pieces down. Because if you're working with 12x12s, you don't want 12x12. You want, you know. So, let me get these ones out of the way, and then we'll get started with this. So, I like to start with a thicker one for the base, for the back. Let me see, what do I have? Oh, I have this one. That's kind of neat. Book page. Let's do these two. Let's ink and see. We may not like them. This is great for those pieces like this one where it's not even. I just want to pull that apart. All right, let's take a look. I'm just going to glue these two together. No rhyme or reason to this, really. And do that music piece on there. What else could we do? We could do I want to vary just a little bit. this piece right here. Ink. Let's see what this one looks like. Now, I'm using a neutral ink that I use often. I think I like that. I'm going to use a piece of this. Yeah, I'm going to put that over there. So kind of glue on half of that. And then I'm going to use my scissors. I'm just going to cut this off. I don't know, it looks a little bit like a label to me. Not doing any corner rounding or anything like that. I kind of like it. All right, let's do one like this. I got this pink. This is packaging. Piece of packaging. And just some script paper left over from something. I don't know. It's a single-sided lightweight cardstock. I might have made a pocket out of it or something. Let's see. We're going to give this a little ink and see if we like it. We might not. You never know. Let's see what else. Let's put a piece of this book page on there. It's not really book page, it's more like book paper because it doesn't have any writing on it. So this is like the top or bottom of a page that I cut off. So we're going to put this one on here. Put that on. And then we'll put this one on. Be careful when you're working with packaging because if it's glossy, it may take a little longer to adhere. Now, if I was doing this as a make-ahead, this is where I would stop, okay? That is very generalized and it's going to fit into a lot of different books. I could put butterflies on it. I could put more flowers on it. I could put hearts on it. I could do all kinds of stuff with it. But if I get too specific and I start putting those types of decorations on here, I'm going to end up with something that is a mass make, and we don't want that. All right, so I'm going to play. Ooh, look at that one. There's nothing like a dream to create the future. I like this. This is cute. What else? Oh, yeah, that's kind of a, but it needs something. Yeah, we're just going to do this. So 3 pieces, I think, 3 to 4 pieces is kind of the optimal here. Any more than that, you're getting very specific. Okay, so let's put something on this. And this, kind of like, you know, Scrap Buster 3000, is just a way of putting some stuff together that you can use for bases for more specific stuff as you move along. Now, I'm not putting anything down, you know, in a specific place. I'm just kind of gluing it and dropping it because I want it to be very random. piece tried to escape. And I'm using different textures here. I have, this is paper, and it's printed on a linen. This is cardstock, and that is a index card. So different textures, but all together to work for what I want. Now I still have the other half of that, and that's pretty cool too. What else? What else? What else? I do like this. Sorry, I get off camera sometimes. I apologize. So I'm just going to rip that, and I need a base. Something basic. That's really big. That must have been a strip from a 6x6. And I cut something out of it. All right. So we're going to ink our pieces. And again, this doesn't have to be, I mean, you could be very random with this. Three to four pieces, that's kind of the rule. Or it's not a rule. It's just my interpretation of it. We're just going to put this down. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Here we go. Okay. It's a little long, so I'm just going to take the ends off. And I'm going to ink this a little bit, which I probably should have done before I glued anything to it, but okay, that works. All right, so I'm just going to keep doing this for a few minutes and get a couple of these together. I kind of like this too. And once I have some of these together, then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about, you know, how to go that step further. Okay? I'll be right back. All right, so we made a few more. And this is where I would stop. And I would just pick these up and say, okay, these are my bases. I'm going to put them away. But if I'm going to put them in a book, let's say I'm going to add them to a journal. Now let's say I want to do, I'm doing a sewing journal. Well, this would be really good for a sewing journal because it's got a little bit of a tape measure on it. But it would need to be, you know, it would need to have something else that's kind of more sewing. So maybe I would find like a thread end and add that to it. And just add one or two little pieces that would make that more specific. So let's take a look at some of the ways we can do that. I'm sure you've seen me use them before. And what they are is little stickies. So let's say we wanted to work on this one and we want to make it a little bit more specific. We're going to do this one kind of a sewing theme. Okay, I can use dimensionals to set that up just a little bit. Now, I get told I'm a little heavy on the dimensionals, but I don't know, I kind of like it to be well attached. Alright. So we can add that. We can give it a little dimension. Pull it off the page just a little bit. And that could go into a sewing journal. It could be a tuck, it can be just an embellishment, you could put something under, you could have it on the side of a page, and it could go in. You could use it to finish an envelope, or maybe finish off a belly band. Put this on a belly band on a project. Let me see if I have one over here. I try to keep those things, nearby. And I don't have a belly band. I have this though, so that'll work. So you can put that on a belly band and put it in your journal, and it would look cute, right? So then there's like this one. Well, this one is like really, I could see this going in like a theatrical journal. I could definitely see that. And in which case I would want to put something on here that really pops off the page. And to be honest with you, Timmy doesn't make anything that really pops. It's all very dark. But that's okay. Let's see. We do have our little pieces that we made. Here we go. I got one. Again, I'm going to use the dots just to pop it off of there. We'll just use 2. I don't want anybody to say I used too many. There. I like it. I really do. I like it a lot. Okay, so you get the idea. So you can make these bases just like this. Get out your bin of stuff. Look, there's some of those Scrapbuster 3000s that you want to, have handy. Put them in, set them off on the side, and now you've got them available when you need them. That's it. That's all I have for you today. So, have a play. Get your strips out. Get out your pads. Look for strips in your pads. Things that you otherwise won't really use. And let's use them up, okay? So, if you're new here and I haven't offended you yet, subscribe. I will. It'll happen. Oh, I'm going to put these away too. If you would like to know what's going on the channel, maybe you want to know what videos are coming out, do I have any free classes coming up, any Patreon events, anything like that. Maybe you want some free digitals. Maybe you want to support the channel. All link for everything, all of that stuff is in the description box below. Just go down there and click on it, and it will take you to anything you want. Until I see you again, stay well, my friends. Bye-bye.